Hello, this is Alejandro Bratti and William B. Isley from Unlock Clarity, and welcome to Spanglish World Networks on Singo TV, channel 250. Please remember to download both the Singo TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free and it's available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today, we are so happy that we are going to continue with the second part of what we started last week about rituals. And today, the topic we put is harmonizing work with rituals. So it's for me, it's very exciting because I was talking this week with William and saying like, okay, this rituals part is something that I am doing, but I was not aware that that was a ritual. I was thinking like more as a habit than rituals. And we're going to talk a little bit now, very little about that. But right now last week we were diving deep into the transformative power of establishing consistent daily rituals, and that is important. Consistent daily rituals, not something that you are doing once per month or once per year, but daily. And we even say that if it's a micro ritual that it's for 1 minute, it's much better than doing a day off every 6 months. It's much better to do it daily in a daily matter. So we explore a little bit of how these practices can ground us. That is very important. Understanding grounding. We have talked a lot about grounding and the importance of that. Quickly, when we are grounded, we can see things more clearly than when we are flying and we are not grounded. Our head is flying and it's saying everything, a lot of things. Provides stability, help us navigate life's challenges much better, much easier, and we have more resilience too.
Yes, sir. So we also discussed the difference between habits and rituals and how rituals are infused with intention and meaning, and they happen in the present moment. They connect us to something larger than ourselves, and they help us cultivate that sense of purpose and direction that we all need.
And the key there is the present moment. That's for me the big difference between a ritual and a habit. Because you can put all the intention in a habit, but if you're in the present moment, the intention flows away. Rituals are not just solitary habits, but offers this sense of harmony that we love to talk about, not balance, but harmony and structure. For example, let's start to bring examples. Think a daily meditation versus any addiction. One is conscious in the meditation. One of the keys of the meditation and why the meditation is so important is that you are present in the moment. Even when sometimes in the middle of the meditation you start to remember a lot of things, that is okay. You just acknowledge and continue. Uh, and the addiction is something unconscious.
Sometimes 30 plus years of abstinence and Overeaters Anonymous, there are times when it's one of those, I'm going to have that Twinkie, damn it. I choose to eat this right now. But by the same token, that's after the step work and all that. So before that, I didn't think much. So yeah, you're still right.
No, at the end, remember any addiction, maybe you are like, yeah, I know that this is wrong and I am going to do it. But you are doing it and you are not thinking like, oh yeah, this is amazing. It's wonderful feeling this smoke here. Mm,
I know a few people who actually have that reaction. So we have to remember that too, because it's like I
yeah,
know
that can
people
happen.
who have stopped smoking, and then they started back again because they really enjoyed it too much, a lot. So that happens sometimes, not often, but sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. At the end, there is everything, and you can do any habit and even addiction. with that. But
Takes everybody.
yeah. So we also touch on the importance of starting small and anchoring these rituals to existing habits and routines. That is key because help us to really have it. If we have a habit of taking a bath every morning, and you are with the bath, the next ritual of grounding, for example, or doing a meditation of grounding, even if it's 2 3 minutes, it's going to be more probable that you are doing it every day because you are attaching that grounding to the shower that you take every day. So that helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also ended with a powerful insight into how rituals can impact the work and professional lives. And when we start our projects and initiatives with alignment and intention, we do really set ourselves up for better results, more harmonious collaboration. It's quite
And
amazing.
that is very very important what you are saying about these better results and harmonious collaboration. Reminds me of a metaphor that we used a few sessions ago, calls ago, talking about this symphony orchestra. When all instruments start to at the same pitch, then slightly they adjust just to play together, and they create a beautiful harmony. And the same is true for teams, organizations, everything that we are doing. When we are going together, everything starts to sound amazing.
Yes, yes, indeed. So today, we're going to pick up on that thread and explore how we can leverage the power of rituals and intentional practices in our work lives. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a CEO, a manager, or an employee, the principles can help create more alignment, focus, my F word, because I have attention dialed to a higher dimension, and productivity in your professional endeavors. But then again, focus also means follow one course until successful. So you choose.
And there is some exciting insights because really we work and we are putting a lot of time and effort in preparing this. Even the script that we are following and the thing that we are talking is a lot of effort that William and me are taking to have this from surviving to thriving. This is part of that series. And the idea is to bring you practical strategies. If anybody of you have any questions, any comment, please, if you are in any social media, we will love to hear what is happening with you. And if not, just connect to our channel too, and you can send us some messages. And even if it's not right now, in the future, you can connect, look for William B. Isley or for Alejandro Bratti, and you're going to find us in almost every social media. Uh, Now we are going to talk about a topic that we believe is very important, and it's something that happens always. When we start to create a habit or a ritual, there is always resistance. And one of the keys that we are talking since last week and this week is we need to have this consistency because that is going to create the change that you are looking for. So establishing and maintaining daily rituals, it's a common struggle, right, William?
Yes, yes, indeed. And that's one of the reasons why I like to use the ritual and the intention part because it's a decision on my part. And
Yeah,
it it makes it easier to cut back on the overwhelmed feeling, especially with those of us who have full lives. I'm making the conscious choice not to use the word busy and replace it with the word full because that particular B word is actually gets a bad rap because, yeah, I'm not going to go no farther with that one, but it's the thing is, if we're stuck in the world of being busy, we pretty much think we don't have time for anything, let alone a 2 or 3 minute ritual. It's incredible. So, like we've been saying, a key, and potentially the key, is to start small and be realistic with the expectations. Uh, we have this tendency to overestimate what we can do in a year, in a day. Listexia, yay. Overestimate what we can do in a day and completely and totally underestimate what we can do in a year. And so, um, man, some famous author, Zig Ziglar, I think, used to say that if you want to write a book and you write 1 page a day, at the end of a year, that's 365 pages. And most books, small books and stuff, are what, 80 to 100? So that could be the equivalent of 3.5 books worth of information that you've written down. And if you really like writing, there's more to that. So then, even just 10 minutes in the morning or a lunch break or before bed, whenever you choose to work it in, it can make a huge difference. Because how long is 10 minutes when you're actually sitting and watching a clock? And how long is 10 minutes when you're watching a movie?
Yeah, yeah. And it's incredible because I do it all the time, even with the people that I am coaching. Is tell me what is your goal? What is what you really want? I know that you are full or busy right now, and you can be very busy in a lot of things and doing a lot of things. But normally, what we are doing is not aligned with what we really want. And I'm talking about CEOs, I'm talking about entrepreneurs, I'm talking about directors that is like, okay, but let's talk about the dream that you have, what you want to accomplish. How much time do you want to put there? Oh, I don't have time to do it. Okay, so when do you think that is going to happen if you don't put any time? So if you really want to have this happening, this dream happening, you need to put time there. There is no other way. And that's what we are talking here. And it's even 10 minutes, but 10 minutes every day is going to make a huge impact because you are thinking about that. So carving out uh, like this chunk of time for a separate practice, but finding ways to integrate these mini mindfulness moments throughout our day, it's going to be like a reset. I was talking. Well, we are going to talk about that after that, so I'm not going to advance.
Yeah, those small resets, they help prevent overwhelm, and
Exactly.
it's incredible. So, with a needle and thread, it's like taking regular location check-ins during a road trip. I mean, uh, even when you're driving, it's still, you have to make those little corrections. But even on a road trip, it's like, where where are we, and are we going in the correct direction? Well, of course we are if we're in a vehicle and moving forward. But uh, it's like, did I take a wrong turn? And so we just do those little nudges to the steering wheel and so forth and so on, and make sure that we stay on the correct route. And the same principle applies here to work, to life, wherever.
Okay, let's look for some examples, William, about that.
Okay, that sounds great. So when we start projects that are in alignment with where we're going, where we want to be with our businesses, we actually get better results, because not just not just the employees, but we actually have buy-in. And if we have buy-in, the people that are working with us, our team members, see that and respond to it. And there's less time wasted, Reed, spent aligning with what doesn't fit and more time getting things done because we're actually excited and we're in harmony, and it's easier to be like a well-tuned symphony.
Mm.
It's about making those micro alignments. Hikers checking a compass regularly, and um, one of my friends in Germany talks about communication on a regular basis, and it's so much easier to have those course corrections when we're actually talking to other people.
And I really love that because a few weeks ago I was in a session of breathing. I normally go to a Buteco session where I am learning a lot of things, but especially to breathe better. And it's like, oh, how you are learning to breathe better? Yeah, it's at the end, it's the single thing that we do most during the day than anything else. Compare it with drinking water, with eating food, with sleeping, with anything. We are breathing more. And in that session, I had the opportunity to share some of the struggles that I have physically. And I was sharing like, okay, and where were all the things that I was doing? And and at the end, with the all the group started to come and to talk about those things that I share and what were their recommendations. And it was incredible because they were saying like, Alejandro, you are doing a lot of things. That it's amazing. Like we really acknowledge that, and that it's amazing how you are doing all these rituals and all those things. But what if you think about doing more but little micro doses during the day? Because I have a big moment of meditation in the morning and big moment of meditation at night, but in the middle I don't do a lot. It's like, what if you start to add 1 or 2 minutes that are going to be like micro alignment? Because I can be very aligned at the beginning of the day, but if I misalign during the day, suddenly in the afternoon I am completely in another place. But if I put some minutes to do that, everything changes. And I have been trying that, and it's really amazing how I feel like more energized, and changes practical aspects, changes emotional aspects, changes a lot of things.
Wow. Yeah. So then, as we navigate the challenges of establishing new rituals, and I'm going to say that it's similar in rewiring brain structure to making new habits. Um, Everybody talks about 21 days for a new habit. Let's try 60 days to really get it set in the brain. So let that sink in. 21 days, yes, that's a great start. But after 2 months, if you're continuing to do it, that's when the magic starts happening. And so remember, between that 21 and 60 days, choose self compassion over self criticism. This is so important. And if you're like me, you have lots of folks in the choir back here who are incredibly good at self criticism, and only a few of them who are good at self compassion. So then give those folks that are good at self compassion a megaphone so they can stand out in the choir. Because also, if you're like me, you never learned how to celebrate your progress. It's like, oh, we're done with this. What's next? No celebration, none of that. So no matter how small, just remember to celebrate anything. Kind of like the Irish philosophy of any time is a good time to drink. Well, in this particular process, any forward progress, even if it's a millimeter, is a great time to celebrate. And that will help you maintain your momentum and your consistency. Because if
And
it's
that is That is so true because that is the way that you are giving the megaphone to the self compassion choir, and when you are saying like, okay, Alejandro, you did it amazing and well done, and you can continue. We are not saying that the celebration has to be okay. Let's open a bottle of wine and let's start to have a conversation. It can be when it's something big, uh, but even those little things like, okay, Alejandro, amazing, and really even doing it just for yourself. You can be at the bathroom doing it like, wow, it's amazing, or even just a smile like, you did it, it's amazing, Alejandro, you are amazing. That changes everything because your subconscious will be like, okay, I don't know what is happening, but I like it. So that's what we are looking here. It's about being kind with ourselves, recognizing that change that takes time, and understanding that every step counts.
Absolutely. And as I was saying before, even the micro practices, those have a significant impact. It's the consistency that matters most, because a thing that we have to remember about airplane flights and autopilot, the plane is off course. What is it, 90% of the flight?
I am
And
not sure.
so, yeah, I think it's somewhere between 80 and 90% of the flight. The plane is absolutely off course. And it's the autopilot that puts it back on course for a few seconds or a few minutes, and it ends up in the right spot. So that's the purpose of micro adjustments.
Yeah. So that is very well said. Now we are going to start the difference between compassion, because there is a lot of misunderstanding with like, okay, Alejandro and William, I understand it, I love it, but what is the difference between compassion or empathy or sympathy and kindness? So we are going to be talking about that right now, because there is even sometimes us is like, yeah, but I have a lot of compassion. No, it's sympathy, it's not compassion. So let's start to mix that.
Exactly. So empathy is the ability to deeply share and understand another's feelings. I can see through your lens disappoint why this disappointment would be difficult. Blah 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 blah. Sympathy. It's an external emotional response expressing the fact that we care. Oh dear, I'm just so sorry for your troubles. Kindness. And remember, there's 144 levels of kindness. Break that down for yourself. It's expressing care through supportive action that is oriented positively. I, I brought this blanket since you mentioned feeling cold earlier.
Mm.
And I'm thinking we can share this picture.
I am not sure how, because I don't have it just separated. I was looking for that. So
Okay. So then we put a picture in our notes. Um, and it's sad in its accuracy. So there's a picture of a hand and an arm sticking out of the water. And empathy is someone standing on the edge of the water going, "Man, I feel your pain." And the next frame is compassion, where someone's sticking their arm out of the water and the other person has a hold of it. And that's compassion and
yeah,
pulling them out. And uh, so then compassion is internal, unconditional love extended gently to ourselves and others while we're suffering. It holds space for the pain as part of the shared experience we have as humans. And it simultaneously recognizes the innate wholeness that we have.
mm,
And an example is, this mistake does not define my worth. I rest in my goodness as I improve, as we improve together. those kinds of things.
And I really love this clarity that you brought, because at the end there is a lot of misunderstanding. For me, empathy, I learned it in NLP, when you put yourself in the other person, and it's very important. We are not saying that having empathy is not important, because you can see from the other people's eyes. But when we are talking about compassion, it's really like, okay, you are doing something about it, and it's you are expressing that love to those people that it's suffering, not only saying, yeah, I see you. It's like, I know and I feel your pain. So uh, through the alchemy of compassion, we embrace our mistakes or failures, creating a forgiving space for growth. That is key. Judgment discerns the value from the lesser, while unconditional love cultivates the growth of the work.
Yeah, and it's totally important to show that compassion to ourselves. So then, here's the examples we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
So then,
exactly.
empathy, relationships. A partner understands their significant other's feelings and emotions and is able to respond with understanding and support. In parenting, empathy. A parent understands their child's fears and anxieties and is able to provide comfort and reassurance. Marriage or committed relationships. A spouse understands their partner's needs and desires and is able to meet them in a loving and supportive way.
So this is important. Empathy is important. Let's see in the sympathy side. In relationships, we have a friend that expresses sympathy for a partner who is going through a difficult time, but does not offer any practical support. It's only like, okay, I understand you, and that's it. It's nothing more. Or in the parenting side, a teacher expresses sympathy for a student who is struggling with a difficult subject, but does not offer any extra help. Like, yeah, I know that this topic is very difficult. You will do it. It's okay. Or in a partnership or marriage, the partner expresses sympathy for their partner's job loss, but does not offer to help with the finances. It's like, I understand, and I don't know how you're going to do it, but just do it.
So then we have kindness in relationships. A friend offers to help a partner with a difficult task without being asked. That would be the love language of do. My brain is going blank. I've been studying this for weeks now. But it's like acts of service. That's what it's called. Parenting. A parent helps their child with their homework despite being tired.
Mm.
And uh, partnerships. The partner cooks dinner for their partner, even though they are not feeling well. I mean, this would go into the realm of the acts of service love language.
Yeah, exactly. With compassion, some examples in relationships, a friend helps a partner through a difficult time without judgment or expectation of anything in return. Or in parenting, a parent understands their child mistakes and help them to learn from them rather than punishing them. So it's like, okay, let's work together. Let's find out what is the solution for this. In the partnership, the partner forgives their partner for a mistake and help them move on. It's not only like, I understand you, but okay, what do you help? I know this friend, I know this person. Let's work. Let's do it. Let's like there is action behind. There is love behind. It's not judgment behind.
So then, Mr. Bratti, since you are so amazing at guided meditations, how about you take us through something?
So what we're going to do now is have some time with the guided meditation. So we're going to, if you are in a place that you can close your eyes, close your eyes. If you are driving, you are doing something that you can't, don't do it. But to take the option to really understand what we are going to do right now. It's just going to embrace everything that we have been learning about this compassion, self-compassion is going to be for you. So start by closing your eyes and breathing deeply and start to connect with the moment of now. And it's okay if you have a lot of thoughts, if you hear a lot of sounds around you, just acknowledge them and continue. And focus on your breathing. Focus on the inhalation, stop for a couple of seconds, exhalation, stop for a couple of seconds. Try to do it everything with your nose. And start to think about today. How was your day? If you are starting with your day, how was your night? If you are at the end of your day, if you were present today, if you were not present, and do it with compassion, what we were talking today. Like, okay, I acknowledge this, that happened. That means that I need help here. And you offer some action for yourself. Oh, I'm going to change this, doing this. I recognize that I got mad and angry about this with my partner or with my kid or with my boss or with my employee. And here are some steps that I can do to improve that, to bring my best version and not the worst one. And don't judge, only acknowledge, breathe, relax, and connect. This is not a space where you are going to judge all your actions that you did. It's a space to show love to yourself, to show compassion, to show kindness. Maybe even recognize what are a couple of moments that you were activated by something that can show you an area of awareness where you can change from surviving to thriving. And in this space, just breathe deeply and come back.
So then, how do we add flexibility to this particular exercise? That was nice and relaxing. Now, let's discuss some modifications that we can take to serve different energetic needs in different situations. For an activation, when you need energizing, try keeping your eyes open during the meditation, or even doing a walking meditation where you notice the sights, sounds, and sensations around you while repeating some uplifting mantras out loud. We want to make sure those vibrations get out into the air so you can feel them. And you can also incorporate, depending upon how you want to do it, your prayer hands, your bowing, those kinds of things, because When you do this, it completes a circuit in your body. So it's not
Mm.
just it's energetic. It's not necessarily anything else. So keep that in mind.
And maybe even explaining what are mantras if not everybody knows about mantras.
So from this perspective, everybody will understand what a mantra is. I can't remember names. I always do this wrong. This is a mantra. This is a negative mantra. These happen in our daily lives, and we don't even realize it.
Mm.
So then, in this case, an uplifting mantra is, and this is going to be way out there for some people, just the simple act of saying, I'm amazing. And the choir is going to get all up in your grill and say, oh, hell no, you're not. And so we got to start small when we're rearranging the brain. But it's like, I'm amazing. I am confident. I actually know what I'm doing. Those kinds of things. Get creative. Talk with an LLM. Most people are only familiar with ChatGPT, but there's 25 or 30 of them out there for free. Whatever. It's just that's it. Does that definition or explanation for a mantra actually make sense, Alejandro?
I think that yes, at the end it's because there is a lot of misunderstanding. That's why we are explaining like this. For example, repeating a mantra. I know that for my case, I know that people in India they understand completely a mantra, but sometimes in other places it's like, oh, I don't like mantras because it's something from the Hinduism, and that is not true. It's something that it's here. That's why we are talking about that. For example, a mantra can be like, I am open and energized, envision creative solutions. It's only that. It's like connecting with the I ams. And I love the I ams because help me to embrace and tell to my subconscious, not an option like I think that I like this. No, I am this. I am powerful. I am energized. I am an alpha male. It can be a lot of things, and I can connect with those things, and I embrace and feel empowered just because of that.
Exactly. So then, the purpose for the meditations and so forth, calming and relaxing the nervous system. Wow, that's a big one. Uh, Try meditations that are focused on candle gazing or humming or doing a body scan, which is actually paying attention to your body. Some of us in the past and present aren't so good at that. So then uh, it's where you intentionally note the areas of physical tension, emotional tension, whatever it is. And when you get more used to this, take a deep breath and just exhale and let that tension go. Being an
And in
energy
my
worker, being an
yeah,
energy worker, that's not always simple to do because there are different bits of energy that are stuck in places. And so it's like simply exhaling that tension away. Well, it comes back in 2 seconds. What am I doing wrong? You're not. There's other stuff going on.
mm. And I remember, but because right now I almost every time I am doing a meditation before going to bed. But before, when I was not doing that, there is a lot of things that I bring from everything that happened during the day to my mind, and it's like, okay, now I want to calm, and suddenly my mind is 100 miles per hour uh, with a lot of ideas. So an idea will be the meditation, or could be start to breathe and just imagine like a good place that you like. If you like a beach, start to imagine that you are in a beach and you are having a wonderful time there. just relaxing, or you can be in a forest if you like forest, and you start to relax and connect with that. And that can start to something key for me is the breathing, how much I am breathing, uh, and how we are breathing with that. So that can be very very key.
Definitely. Definitely. So, just remember, consciously tailor your meditations and rituals and practices that reload, restore, and or invigorate as you need them.
Okay, we are going to go directly to the closing inspirations and tips because of the time that we have, and we want also to give you five points that we can use here. So, in the closing inspirations and tips, uh, some of the reminders is okay. What do you want to remind yourself? The accountability. Uh, this is key. The accountability is key because a lot of the times when I say publicly here that I am going to do it, or this is the way that I'm going to do it, suddenly I feel like I need to do it because I have been saying it this in front of. Last week we had 3 million people here, so if this time it's the same, is wow, you are saying it very publicly. This thing.
Yes. And so let's let's crowdsource some smart ideas on ritual reminders and accountability. Um, we all we need all the support we can get. Uh,
So one thing that works is putting motivational quotes or affirmations, or even when what I am saying, not only an affirmation, but what I need. It's like it's not like just reading something, but it's like, okay, my intention this week is to improve my family time. Okay, I am graciously in love with my family, or I am in love with my wife. So those things that can remind you the intention for the week. And I love this wheel of life that is like, okay, let's see how is it. And every time that I'm working with a new person that I am coaching, I start with like, okay, let's see in the wheel or the focal points, how are you and which one do you want to improve? Because not it's not everything all the time, but maybe family time is important right now because I feel that I'm losing my family. Okay, focus there. And what are going to be the reminders? That focal time with your family. That is going to be something that you are going to reaffirm. And for example, I use it a lot. Put it in my cell phone and put the reminders 5 times per day. Just remind me, focus on your family, and even just by thinking about them, that starts to improve even the connection and the relationship with them.
yep, 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 yep. And that's one of the cool things is we can leverage the technology that we already look at. Um, yeah, you can place sacred objects, things that mean something to you. Bedside, entry table, they automatically catch your attention so that you can know that you're transitioning into different locations, different spaces. Uh, Candles, spiritual symbols, crystals, visual cues that spark your memory that I'm moving from this space and this brain space into another space, into that brain space.
And really another idea is accountability. Something that I was talking before is having metaphorical rituals, workout balls, or something that I am saying to my friend, like, okay, I completed this and I am happy about this, and we cheer each other. That makes easier some things. Or maybe it's just with me and I have my recording or a notebook or something that my journal where I am writing the things. Okay, I did it today. I did it today. That was amazing.
Yeah. And community support. We can post comments on discussion threads, those kinds of things. So here's a question for you. What other brilliant ideas have helped you all establish consistency? Uh, Comment wherever you're watching this uh, with any suggestions on
Yeah,
what
send
you
those
do.
messages.
Yes.
We will love them. Like, read what are you doing? What are the things that you are doing? That will be very helpful for everyone here. So the recommendations that came to our mind is like, first, identify one or two micro transition spaces in your current schedule that you hold sacred pauses, like maybe when you are going to find a coffee or brushing your teeth or before any meeting. So these things, like, okay, before that meeting, I'm going to take 30 seconds. I know that the meeting is going to start, but nothing happens if I enter 30 seconds later. And you breathe and connect. So start to identify that.
Yes. Number two, explore a few potential rituals. Gratitude. Something as simple as having gratitude for X, Y, or Z can be a very powerful ritual. Intention setting, surrendering to a thing, an eventuality of whatever. It's just the more I fight against something, the more strength I give it, and the more space it takes up here rent free. Uh, just make sure that these rituals energize you or relax you.
Incorporate The third one is incorporate a 1 minute ritual into your transition space by associating it with a regular activity, like when you go to the bathroom and wash your hands, or one morning alarm, like anything that helps you to you attach something, the ritual, to something that you are already doing.
Exactly. And number four, stack reminders by way of quotes or notifications to spark the memory until this is embedded in your way of doing things.
And the last one, share goals and incarnate practices with an accountability body, somebody that you trust, and celebrate weekly. Like, what was the consistency? Something that you did every day or most of the days, and that is going to help you. Like, even the rituals can revolutionize everything and transform everything. So William was amazing. It's incredible that we had the time to finish everything.
Exactly. And
So yeah, next
yeah,
week, what is the plan?
what is the plan? Ah, well, we just touched on it this week, but embracing self-compassion. Wow. Um, how do we do that? How do we make that happen? Those kinds of things. We'll give you the down low on all of that.
So it's time. It was very quick. So thank you everyone for being here with us. This show can also be heard on Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thank you, William. Thank you all. See you next week.
See you next week.